Hey, what's up? So, I want to share a bit about how to love according to the Bible, how to love as a Christian. And I want to talk more about agape love, so unconditional love, right? And well, I just got back from a camp and we were studying a lot about this. And I just really wanted to share with you guys on how to love, where love comes from, and, what love is. So, without further ado, let's start. And, oh, wait. Sorry. Remember that I'm not perfect, right? I'm still learning. I'm a student and I might say something wrong. I'll most probably say something wrong. So please correct me if I do. And I'm really trying my best. So yeah, now let's start. To first understand how to love, we must understand what love is, right? So the ultimate definition of love, in my opinion, is what Jesus did on the cross for us. Dying on the cross for our sins. That, in my opinion, is just straight up love. Why? Because, what Jesus did was a sacrifice. He gave up his life for us, and now that basically summarizes it. Love is a sacrifice. So sacrifice and love, in my head, those two words are the same thing, because you're giving up something for someone, to fulfill someone's needs, whether it's spiritual or physical, right? And I wanted to talk a bit about the characteristics of unconditional love too. So here in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7, we see, love is patient and kind. It is not jealous or conceited or proud. Love is not ill-mannered or selfish or irritable. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. Love is not happy with evil, but is happy with the truth. Love never gives up, and its faith, hope, and patience never fail. Now, what do these things mean? Love is patient and kind, right? That's pretty self-explanatory, but let me give you an example. Just a while ago, I was helping my sister, or at least trying to help her read a book, right? She's 7, I believe. And I had to be really patient because she was stuttering all over the place, and it took us a lot of time, but I just had to be patient and kind because I really wanted to help her read, because I myself have been there. I've been in second grade, and I myself have struggled with reading, so I really had to be patient. And it is not jealous or conceited or proud. And this kind of falls into the part of love is not ill-mannered or selfish or irritable too, because being proud is a bit selfish. It's pretty selfish. And if we start loving selfishly, right, that would be more of lust, because lust actually is quite the opposite of love. It's a selfish thing, right? Lust is impatient. Love is unkind. It's jealous. It's the opposite of these things, right? So I also believe that love is the ultimate solution to lust. Of course, we need God's help. We need God's strength. We can't do it ourselves. But in my opinion, personally, learning how to love really helped me defeat lust. So I just want to put that out there. And continuing, we see love does not keep a record of wrongs. Now, what does this mean? This basically means that love is forgiving. Not keeping a record of wrongs is the definition of forgiveness. Because when you forgive, you basically forget, right? You do forget everything that a person did wrong towards you. So if they slapped you or if they said something bad towards you, and then they come to you asking you for forgiveness, what you're doing is basically forgetting it. You're not going to bring it up again in the future, and you're not going to take revenge for it, right? So love is forgiving. And love is not happy with evil, but is happy with the truth. Now, perhaps you might have a friend, right? A friend you trust who is really just stumbling and doing a bunch of evil, right? Committing a bunch of sins. And it's important to have trust with this person so that you may tell them the truth. Because how could you be happy with someone, a friend especially, committing all these mistakes, right? You would want to correct them, and that's the right thing to do. And that's why love is happy with the truth. And the truth does hurt sometimes, and that's why it's important to, if you're going to tell the truth, that this person trusts you, right? So it's important to have that. And love never gives up, and its faith, hope, and patience never fail. So love never gives up, as I was saying, I was trying to help my sister, and I didn't give up on her. I mean, I didn't just quit and go away. I just kept helping her. That falls a bit into being patient too. And, it's faith, hope, and patience never fail. So again, just never giving up, right? And having that patience. So these are very important characteristics to keep in mind when loving. And I feel like you might already know how to love. You might have an idea already. But, now how do we love? Well, love is ultimately a sacrifice, as I've mentioned already. And it's when you give up something for someone to fulfill their physical or spiritual needs, right? So when we love, it's important to love unconditionally, to love without conditions. And it's important to note that we don't only have to love our friends or family, right, or neighbors. We must also love our enemies, because Jesus told us to love our enemies. And I want to set a few examples here. So in physical help, like if you want to help someone physically, that could be like perhaps you have a friend who needs to wash dishes because their parents just told them to. Well, helping them with that need is you could take your own time to go and help them wash the plates so that they could have more free time, right? So you're caring for them. You're truly helping them because you love them. And also, I wanted to mention that it's important to love without expecting anything in return. Because if we commit a sacrifice, like washing the dishes is pretty much a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your time for someone. If you do that thinking that they're going to give something in return, or you ask them for something in return, you're more doing a sacrifice for something in return, right? It's a trade. So it's like, let's say, instead of just helping my friend because I care for them, I'm helping them for money. I say, hey, I'll help you wash the dishes, but you got to give me money. And that's really selfish. Okay, that's not right. So yeah, washing the dishes, that's an example of physical help. Now, there is spiritual help, right? Or at least that's how I imagine it, physical and spiritual. But spiritual help could be in helping carrying burdens, or if there's something that's way out of your reach to help someone, praying for them, praying for them and asking God to help them it helps, all right? And that person doesn't necessarily have to know that you're helping them. As long as God knows, it's fine, right? And as long as you know that they're going to get better, that's all that matters. So not expecting anything in return, right? Not making a trade, and not expecting favor in people's eyes. So it's important to keep those in mind. Now, I also have another example of helping people carry their burdens, and that's in listening to them. Me, myself, I have had burdens. I mean, everybody goes through trouble. And the simple fact that I had friends who would listen to me when I was in trouble was really nice, and not all of them had tips for me, but they listened. And that's important. Sometimes all we need is someone who will listen. So you can go out and help a friend, ask them how they're doing, and have them, like, you don't have to interrogate them, but just know that you're there to listen to them. And when you do listen to them, you might occasionally come up with tips for them because you might have gone through the same thing. And then in that case, well, you're starting to help them physically. So yeah, that's an awesome thing to do, to listen to people. So those are a few examples of how to love. And also, I'm not sure if any of you have gone through this, but I myself have gone through a fear of loving. I know it sounds weird, but it's more of like a fear of helping, putting myself out there to help someone. And it's weird, but you have to think about it this way. You are trying to put yourself out there to help someone. You're trying to do something good for them. It's not like you're doing anything bad. So you can just go out and ask them, hey, do you need help with something? And the worst thing they could say is no. But if they say yeah, then, well, that's awesome. You can go out and help them and love them, right? Show them unconditional love. And also, you can do this with enemies. So there is in, I believe, math, I forgot where it was, but there was an example of if someone tells you to walk a mile, walk two, right? And, back in Roman times, they could take off all of their things and give it to like a random person on the street, well, a random Jew on the street. right? And that person would legally have to carry their things for 1 mile, and then they would have to walk back and pick up their own stuff. And I mean, yeah, that's kind of a burden, right, for yourself. But Jesus told us to walk 2 miles. Why? Because we are showing care for our enemies. By doing this, we are straight up showing them the opposite of what they expect. You know, if they slap you on one cheek, give them the other. It's just like, so, you know, there's a golden rule in most religions, which is do not treat others the way you don't want to be treated. But I feel like that is a neutral zone, because if you, it's not where you're not hating them, but it's also not where you're not loving them, right? It's just neutral. But in Christianity, it's treat others the way you want to be treated. So love them, you know. It's not down here. No, it's up here. And spreading good into the world, that's what we need to do, right? So turning the other cheek and walking 2 miles for that person just shows that you care for them, even if they're your enemy. I know. And the first time I ever heard that, I was just like, I was baffled. But honestly, you should try yourself. If an enemy does something to you, show them love and show them compassion, you know, because they're still human. We're all humans, and we're all God's children. So show them love. Now, most of the time, these opportunities to show love will present themselves, right? And we can totally seek these opportunities, but most of the time it will be like all of a sudden, if someone asks you for help, or you could go out and help them. So looking for these opportunities isn't something to really worry about. It's just what you should not really worry about, but what you should be aware of is just trying to say yes to the opportunity. If the opportunity presents itself, just say yes. You know, it's about caring for that person. You should put yourself aside. Like the example of walking 2 miles, you're putting your stuff aside, you're walking 2 miles, and then you're going all the way back. You have to ignore your own needs in a way and care for the other person. So yeah, that's awesome. And well, now we know how to love, right? We know what love is, but where does this love come from? Because you cannot give what you don't have. So love comes from God, and God's love is a free gift. It's a beautiful gift that is infinite, right? God is love. And when we share love, we are sharing the love from God. So I have this metaphor. I don't know if you've ever been to a wedding, but I have this stereotypical idea that at every wedding there's a pyramid of cups, you know, like of wine glasses, and at the top there's only one cup. Basically, God's love, well, we're like that one cup, and God's love is like if you poured something onto that top cup and it just started to overflow. And then once it starts to overflow, it spreads onto the other cups underneath, right? So that could be like your friends, your family, your enemies, all of those, right? So I love that metaphor because it shows us how we need to first receive love from God to be able to spread that love, because we cannot give what we don't have. So how do we receive this love? Well, it's easy. I mean, God's love is free. All we got to do is open our heart to his love, to his infinite love. And we do that through connecting to him, right? Through growing closer to him. And how do we grow closer to him? Well, through prayer, worship, and reading the Bible. So prayer, as in like having a conversation with God, right? That's like father, son, or daughter bonding time, right? I have this example. Someone else said it before, but it was like, so this guy was a dad, right? And he asked his son to help him wash the plates, right? His 7-year-old son. And I mean, why would you need help from a 7-year-old, right? But no, what the dad wanted was to spend time with the son, right? It wasn't because he needed the help. It was just to spend time with the son. So God knows what we're going to say even before we say it. So praying is a bit like that. It's a bonding time. And it helps us connect to God. Now, reading the Bible, reading the Word of God, is also another way to connect to God, right? It helps us grow stronger spiritually, and it allows us to listen to God's voice. So through that, we are able to grow closer. And through worship too, you know, listening to worship music or worshiping, right? Those things will ultimately just bring you closer to God and allow you to have His love. So I also have a quick tip, which is that it's really nice to have people that you can worship, read, and pray with, because these are people, Christians, that are striving for the same thing as you, right? They're aiming for Jesus, and they're aiming to do things for Jesus, right? So they're also aiming to open their hearts. So doing it with them will just strengthen you, and it will help you and help them. And also, it's important to share love to them, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Actually, no, I still have a lot more, but I'll have to make more videos on those. But yeah, I believe, let's make a conclusion right now, actually. So I've told you guys what love is. So love is ultimately a sacrifice. It's giving up something for someone else to fulfill their needs, whether it's physical or spiritual. Then I've shown you guys the characteristics of love. So love is patient, love is kind. Love is patient, love is kind. It is not jealous or conceited or proud. Love is not ill-mannered or selfish or irritable. Love does not keep a record of wrongs, right? Love is not happy with evil, but is happy with the truth. Love never gives up, and its faith, hope, and patience never fail. Well, those last three things are like one. Yeah, so I've shown you guys these characteristics, and I've also compared love to lust. And lust, as we can see, is quite the opposite of love. So through love, we can ultimately defeat lust. And of course, we need God's strength to do that. But yeah, love is a good route to go through to defeat lust. At least that's what really helped me. And now, how do we love? Well, as I said already, love is just giving up something for someone else, whether it's their physical or spiritual needs. So we must put ourselves out there, or ask someone if they need help, or if they ask us for help, we must accept that offer and go out and help them, and we must put ourselves aside. Love is a selfless act. It's not selfish. So we must put ourselves aside, and we must put our interests aside. We must not want to be doing the sacrifice for a trade, right? We don't want to be doing it for something else in return. We don't want to be doing it for money. We don't want to be doing it for honor, right? For credit, right? So it's just an action we do to care for others. And well, how do we overcome the fear of loving? Well, we must remember that love is something good. We are trying to do something good. So we must not be scared to put ourselves out there. We must not be scared to ask someone if they need help. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So I hope y'all learned a lot. And yeah, I really hope that you guys understood what I said. So yeah, go out there and share good into the world. All right, share love into the world. And yeah, peace, y'all. Jesus loves y'all.